So today we're going to go for a walk. There's my house. There's my street. And today is January 2nd, 2022. And as you can see, it's the heart of winter here in Monterey. We have a little bit of wind, but that's pretty normal since we're 3 blocks from the ocean. There's a breeze a lot of the time. So you kind of get used to it. It's not like it's, going to blow you off your chair if you're sitting out in front of your house or anything like that. This empty lot that's next to mine that has a bunch of buildings on it, kind of like barns. It's unoccupied. There's a fellow that comes here every now and then, and he builds furniture out of those logs. He slices them up and builds stuff. He's only here a couple, 3 days a week for a few hours. I hear the sawing when I look out my window. There he is, and then he leaves. But it's a big piece of property. It's got a house on it, an older house. It's coming up on our right. And this house is unoccupied. Nobody lives there. It's kind of spooky at night. There was a light on in that upstairs window one time when I walked past it at night. So that made it seem even spookier. And there's a big giant yard that goes with this house too. Totally unkept. But it's got fruit trees on it, and it's just a yard that's calling out for someone to take care of it. It's on the other side of these I guess this is an adobe wall made out of stone. That could be adobe that's between there. So anyways, we're heading down the hill, and on the other side of these apartments and stuff is the Presidio of Monterey. And it's a big military institution that houses a place called the Defense Language Institute, DLI. And so a lot of students are there, and some of them live on my street. And I see them walking at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. And I know that's where they're going to a class there. Now this old-fashioned building that we're coming up on now, I'll show you the sign that goes to it. It's a place where they have events, and 2 of my tax clients actually got married there. And sometimes I hear them playing music and partying. It's called the Perry House. Built in 1860 by whaling Captain Manuel Perry and his wife, Mary de Mello Silva of Boston. The house remained in the family until 63, restored in 67. And it's really nice. You can tell it's pretty fancy inside. It would be a cool place to own. And there was a few times where I walked down here, and then right here by these steps, that's where all the action was happening. Right in there. That's where there's a whole bunch of tables set up. And there's usually music, like a band playing live music, stuff like that. So we're coming up on Heritage Harbor. That's those tan buildings on the left where it has a sign that says for lease. All of this section we're walking in is all historical. In fact, if you look down, you see these. Path of History, City of Monterey. So those little things, you see them all over the place where you go, where there's these old-fashioned buildings that are part of the historical things that went on in Monterey back in the day. And this particular spot, I can smell people smoking weed right now. Yep, they're enjoying themselves. So this building here, now that's adobe. Definitely that's adobe. You can see, look close. Those are adobe bricks. And this building goes with this other historical building on the corner, and it is called California's First Theater. And that's exactly what it is. It's a theater where they have plays. And here's the sign, California's First Theater. So, see, look. California's First Theater. They don't show movies there. And so we've got that happening on that corner, and now it's green, so I'm gonna cross the street and not get hit by this big GMC. And now we are at Monterey State Historic Park, and this is a cool park. I love this park. I promised my friend Valerie that I would film this park for her. So that's happening now. So here's the entrance to the park. And I'm going to carefully walk down these steps. And we're going to go over by this giant rock. Look at that. Look at the centerpiece. It's a giant rock. And the water's not running right now, as you can see, but it is. Normally it's a fountain. They probably turned it off for the winter time. So you can relax here. Sometimes I come here and there's people sitting at these benches eating their meal that they picked up at the Wharf. And there's 2 times I came here, there was a whole bunch of people working on this park. They were weeding, and they had all their tools, and they had the trash barrels loading up with the weeds and stuff. And so I asked one of them, because they didn't look like park ranger people. There was normally park rangers keep up this area here. And so it turned out they were volunteers from some kind of garden club of some kind. And they come here once a month, and they help take care of this place. It's not a giant park, but it's a neat place to walk. And those are restrooms. Anyone can use them. They're not locked. So we're coming down here. We'll go down the steps again. Hopefully Bill won't take a spill. And so we've got this section here. Oh, and there's something I need to show you that pertains to recycling. It's in this park here. They've got some signs up that show what things are growing. That was lavender. And there's a park ranger guy. And so the thing I wanted to show you was these are bottles, and they line this section of the flower bed. They turned them upside down and made a border out of them. See, they go all the way here, like that, and then this section here, there's more there. And there's a fire truck. He's doing something. I don't know what he's doing. So I'm gonna walk over to this other exit over here. So we're now leaving the park, and over here on the right, there's a restaurant. There's a lot of shops, and that's where the Monterey Conference Center is, and it's a pretty huge place. And so I'll scroll around here and show you what this little plaza looks like. There's a few tourists down here. Here's the other end of the fire truck. And so now this is Heritage Harbor that I mentioned earlier. It's mainly got offices in it, and there's a couple of restaurants in there. And if we were to walk over here, we're now in what's called Custom House Plaza. And so we'll walk past some of these tourists. I can't think of anything really to say while we're walking down here. But these are all historical old buildings here, and a lot of them we get to go in. Not in this particular section where the bars are, but a lot of them are open. They're kind of like museums where they have, you know. See if I can look in here. See, so they have them set up to where you can go inside and look at. Usually old historical things that pertain to this area. This is another one over here. That's a museum too. This whole plaza area is called Custom House Plaza. We can see there's some stuff going on there. There's a lot of shops, a lot of restaurants. There's a wine bar down there too that I want to try. And I haven't been there. So we'll walk over into the plaza. And there's a park area here, and there's a section where that white wall is. It goes from there, where that person is sitting, over to there, and that's where people play bocce ball. And you can see there's if you look close, there's people playing bocce ball right there. I saw that guy, he just rolled the ball. And he just tossed the ball too. So you can play bocce ball there. I don't know how to play bocce ball. I'm thinking it's not that complicated. So we're going to walk down into the plaza. This will give you an idea of our location in relation to the Fisherman's Wharf. Because I've mentioned to a lot of you what's near my house. In fact, that's going to be the name of this video after I post it. It's going to be what's near my house. Oh, and there's some more. This is the succulent garden that I had mentioned to Valerie. I guess you could call those succulents, huh? Are cactuses succulents? That's a good question. And there's some people taking photos. But we'll head back out here to the plaza. And there There is Old Fisherman's Wharf. Where that pink building is, that's a giant gift shop. And then the wharf goes all the way down. So I think we'll walk over here real quick and take a look at the boats in the water, some of the shops. And there's people selling their wares out here. And there's usually people singing, playing guitar, doing stuff like that out here. But it's near the end of the day now, so a lot of them have probably gone. Well, it's really low tide today, huh? Here, let me stand up on here. Hopefully I don't fall off. There's a lot of boats there. So that is Old Fisherman's Wharf. It's very big. There's probably 14, 16 restaurants on it, plus there's 2 ice creameries. There's two different candy stores, gift shops, whale rides, whale boat rides. That building that you see straight ahead, that's part of Wharf number 2. There's a second wharf here. And we're going to walk past it because we are going to go to the Dust Bowl Brewery. More people selling their stuff. And even more, selling more stuff. And more. Cool stuff for sale. Yeah, look at that. So this is the parking lot that's in between Wharf number 1 and Wharf number 2. And this section here where the rocks are and some areas underneath the wharf straight ahead, that's where the sea lions hang out. And they're not there now, but they're there a lot. And when I'm trying to go to sleep at night, between 10 and midnight, I hear them barking. Because it's really quiet in the neighborhood that I live. So at night you don't hear any people partying. You just there's no sound of cars passing or anything. It's quiet. So that's what you hear. And even in the wee hours of the morning, you know, if I wake up for
but look in the water down there. If there's anything that's there,
I would hear those guys barking away.
Oh, there was crap right there. I just saw it.
It's very hard to.
Yeah, let's move down where there's more. But oh, here's one right there.
But that's a lot of boats, huh? Wow.
Oh, that's a crab right there.
Let me move around these people here so I'm not interfering. So Wharf number 2, which we're kind of coming up on, is where that gray building is called the Yacht Club, and I've eaten there before, back when I was a member of the Kiwanis Club of Carmel, where I was the president of the Kiwanis Club for 2 years, and that's where we would have some of our special meetings. But that's the beginning of Wharf 2. Wharf 2 has the nickname, my hair is getting in my mouth. Hate that when you have long hair and it goes in your mouth. But anyways, the nickname for Wharf number 2 is the Working Man's Wharf, because it's not really set up for touristy things. It's got a few places to eat on it, maybe 2 or 3, but mostly it's got fish processing buildings. That's what those big buildings are that are in the back. That's where they bring the fish to be processed. And a lot of fishing takes place on Wharf 2. So one side of Wharf 2 is pretty much blocked off just for the fishermen. And they fish right off the pier. I fished there back when I was younger. And so this is a restaurant here. There's another restaurant over there. I'm gonna come up here into the parking lot. And there's the Harbor Patrol, just in case we need them. You never know. And it's not that cold here today, even though everybody has jackets on, and I have my jacket. You know, once you start walking around out here, then you're usually fine. You know, you just don't need some big, thick, giant jacket. So we're getting near the Dust Bowl Brewery. I only came to the Dust Bowl Brewery my first time last week. I had relatives come over to see me, and I'm kind of panting now because I'm walking. For some reason I'm walking fast. But you can see the Dust Bowl Brewery is big. And so anyways, we came here, tried some of their special beers. And beer on tap is the best. I just love beer on tap. I don't know what it is about it, but it's special having beer on tap. And then being able to buy the craft beers. So there isn't actually food inside, it's all beer inside. But you order food there and you bring it to your table. And it's pretty full right now. It's Sunday. People are off for the holiday weekend. Fire pit's going. Nice. And there's also seating like this on the other side of the building. It goes all the way from end to end on the other side, as well as on the inside too. So we're going to head inside. So I'm going to pause the video and go get something drinkable.